Welcome, class 9. Here we are with part 4 of chapter 2, Socialism in Europe and Russian Revolution. In this particular portion of the video, we are going to learn about the First World War and its impact on the Russian Empire. We will also learn about the impacts on the industrial sector, and we will also find out what was the anti-German sentiment in Russia. So let's get started. First World War and the Russian Empire. In 1914, war broke out between two European alliances. Each participating country had a global empire, and the war was fought outside Europe as well as in Europe. This was the First World War. The participating countries were in two different groups. One group was of Allies powers, which were having Russia, Romania, France, Portugal, Great Britain, Italy, Greece, Serbia, and later in the year 1917, USA. Central powers were having Germany, Austria, and Turkey as their participating countries. In this particular war, the winning side was of the Allies powers, while Central powers lost the war. Anti-German sentiments in Russia. Since Russia was actually in a war situation with Germany, so there was obvious that there will be a rise in the anti-German sentiments. In Russia, the war was initially popular and people rallied around Tsar Nicholas II, who actually refused to consult main parties in Duma. And since Germany was an enemy, so anti German sentiments ran high. And because of these anti German sentiments only, St. Petersburg, which was a German name, it was removed and it was renamed as Petrograd. Even the Tsarina Alexandra, she was having a German origin. And because of her poor advisors, especially a monk called Rasputin, made the autocracy unpopular. So actually what happened that during the war situations, it was the year 1916 when the Tsar was on the war front. He was there to manage the wars and the military. But at that point of time, the power came into the hands of Tsarina Alexandra, and that too indirectly into the hands of Rasputin, who was just a monk. He was actually an Orthodox Christian by birth, but later on in his life, he got converted into Buddhism. And in the year 1906, he came in contact with the Tsar Nicholas II and Alexandra. Alexandra has had a son, and her son was suffering from some sort of illness, and the Rasputin claimed that he can cure his son, and that's why Alexandra had full faith on Rasputin. When Rasputin came into power with the help of Alexandra, obviously, later on he started taking decisions which were becoming unpopular in the people of Russia, and ultimately afterwards which led towards the assassination of Rasputin. Impact on Russia. The impact of the First World War was very severe on Russia. In the west, armies fought from trenches stretched along eastern France. In the east, armies moved a good deal and fought battles, leaving large casualties. And defeats were shocking and demoralizing. Russia's army lost badly in Germany and in Austria between 1914 to 1916. There were over 7 million casualties by 1917. As they retreated, the Russian army destroyed crops and buildings to prevent the enemy from being able to live off land, which resulted into over 3 million refugees in Russia. The situation discredited the government and the Tsar. Impact on industry. The war also had a severe impact on industry. Russia's own industries were few in numbers, and the country was cut off from other suppliers of industrial goods by German control of the Baltic Sea. By 1916, railway lines began to break down. Able bodied men who were called up to the war, because of which it resulted into shortages of labor, and the small industries, the small craftsman industries, they were also shut down. Large supplies of grain were sent to feed the army. For the people in the cities, bread and flour became scarce, and by the winter of 1916, riots at the bread shops were common. We will see in the next video that how these sort of severe impacts further led towards the February movement, February Revolution, and afterwards it led towards the ultimate revolution of Russia, that was October Revolution, happening in the month of October itself and in the year 1970. Because of that October Revolution only, the autocratic rule was revoked in Russia and a socialist government was established. We will see how the different events took place in the next video. Till then, thank you.